My name is Sylvestre Tchangnonhou. I am a junior lecturer at Djibo Hamani University of Tahoua. I have undertaken this research work with two fellows. I mean Dr. Coffi Martinien, Zounhin, Toboula from Abomey-Calavi University, and Dr. Claude Hounyetin. So I'm going to present now the outline of our presentation. It's made of an introduction, a review of a relevant work, a methodology, and results and discussion, and finally, a conclusion. Talking about the introduction, we know that effective communication is a crucial aspect of education and is considered as one of the fundamental skills necessary for success in life. However, the low proficiency in English and French observed among students in the Faculty of Education in Tahoua after 7 years of secondary education raised our concern about the quality of education and its impact on students' academic communication skills. Based on previous research, establishing that classroom interaction is a significant factor in the acquisition of language skill, including academic communication, this study explores the relationship between, this study explores the relationship between classroom interaction and academic communication in secondary school. Besides, the results of this study could also inform teachers' training program and help teachers adopt more effective teaching methods that promote school communication skills. Here we have hypotheses and research question. Starting from the hypothesis, the first one states that classroom interaction significantly affects students' academic communication skills. The second one states that interactive teaching methods have a greater impact on student oral communication skills than traditional teaching methods. The following questions guide the present research work. I mean the research questions. The first one is the following. What is the relationship between classroom interaction and academic communication skill among secondary school students enrolled in general education in Tahoua? The second, how effective are interactive teaching methods in improving student oral communication skills compared to traditional teaching methods? The third and the last one, how does incorporating interactive teaching strategies in a classroom impact in Tahoua? Now, let's review relevant work. This part includes, firstly, the theoretical framework, which is grounded in the social constructivism theory, which argues that learning is a social and interactive process facilitating the communication, collaboration, and cooperation, stating that learning occurs when students are actively engaged in the learning process and having opportunity to interact with their peers and teachers. This framework is supported by various studies on cooperative learning, guided collaborative learning, and supportive learning theories and practice. This study also draws on Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, ZPD theory, which highlights the role of social interaction in learning. This ZPD is the range of tasks that a student can perform with the assistance of a teacher or more knowledgeable peers. Talking about the literature reviews, it contains 3 parts. The first one is about the relationship between classroom interaction, and academic communication skills. This is grounded in the social constructivism theory, which argues that learning is a social and interactive process facilitating by communication, collaborating. So this is grounded in the social constructivism, arguing that learning is a social
Yeah, so it's grounded in the social constructivism.
Okay,
theory,
it is grounded in the social constructivism theory, which argues that learning is a social and interactive process facilitating the communication, collaboration, and cooperation, stating that learning occurs when students are actively engaged in the learning process and have opportunity to interact with their fellows and a teacher. This framework is supported by various studies on cooperative learning, guided by collaborative learning and supportive learning theories and practices. This study also draws on Vygotsky's zone of proximal development theory, which highlights the role of social interactive in learning. The ZPD is the range of tasks that a student can perform with the assistance of a teacher or a more knowledgeable peer. The second one, effectiveness of interactive teaching methods. Interactive teaching methods have been extensively researched and shown to improve student achievement, interaction, and attitudes. In particular, Slavin emphasizes the effectiveness of cooperative learning, which is a theme of interactive learning or teaching in improving academic performance. This study by Ori Okita 2014 also highlights the effectiveness of interactive teaching method in enhancing English as a foreign language EFL students' oral communication skill. The authors found that interactive teaching methods such as discussion and debate had a great impact on student verbal communication skills than traditional teaching method. Furthermore, Satori demonstrate that repeated practice of dictation and reading aloud is a second language listening in classroom activity that can effectively improve phonetic information. The third one, impact of interactive teaching strategies. This part of the present literature review examines the impact of interactive teaching strategy on student learning outcome, specifically focusing on speaking skill, learning outcome in EFL, and students' perspective on innovative and interactive teaching methods. Ben 2019 found that interactive teaching strategy positively impact the development of students' speaking skill in Turkish and as the second language. Similarly, Potter and Johnston 2006 reported that interactive online learning system positively impacted a counted students' learning outcome. The same way, it is also reported that interactive teaching strategies promote student engagement, participation, and achievement, with the latter highlighting the effectiveness of cooperative learning, inquiry-based learning, and problem-based learning. Investigation on active learning strategy in EFL classes also showed that interactive teaching strategy, including role play, group work, and brainstorming, effectively promote student engagement in learning outcomes. Now let's deal with the methodology. The present study exploring the relationship between classroom interaction and academic communication skill among secondary school students in four senior high school in Tahoua region in Niger, explored a mixed method research designed through the following instruments. The first one, class observation. The classroom observation were conducted in English and French classes to observe the teaching method used by the teacher and the interaction among the student and the teacher. The observations were performed using a standard observation protocol, which included the following category: teachers' behavior, student behavior, communication, and classroom environment. The second instrument is a semi-structured teacher interviews. These interviews were conducted with each teacher after the class observation. These interviews aimed to gather information about the teaching methodology, the level of interaction undertaken by the students, and the teacher's perception of the effectiveness of the students' method. The third one, the students' questionnaire. A questionnaire was administered to the students to gather information about the academic communication skill, the perception of the teaching method used, and the learning experience in the classroom. The questionnaire were designed based on the research question and hypotheses and administered to the experimental and control group. Then finally, the control experimentation. A control experiment was conducted to compare the effectiveness of interactive teaching method with traditional teaching method in enhancing student oral communication skill. The experiment divided the students into two groups: the experimental group, which received interactive teaching method, and the control group, which followed the traditional teaching method. The experiment was conducted for 3 months, and the students' oral communication skills were assessed before and after the experiments. Now let's talk about the results and the discussion. Starting from the results, the findings suggest that the classroom interaction and interactive teaching method can significantly improve students' academic communication skill in EFL learning context. The results in Table 2 and Figure 1 indicates that the mean score for academic communication skill was 3.48 with a standard deviation of 0.83, a maximum score of 1.65, and a minimum score of 5.00, suggesting that students' academic communication skill varied significantly. The mean score for classroom interaction was 4.02 with a standard deviation of 0.61, a maximum score of 2.88, and a maximum score of 5 points, indicating that the students experienced a high level of interaction in the classroom. The mean score of teaching method was 3.678 with a standard deviation of 0.74, a minimum score of 2.22, and a maximum score of 5.00, indicating that the teaching method used varies significantly among the teachers, suggesting that both interaction and traditional method are used.
Results suggest that teachers should aim to create a classroom environment that fosters interaction and allows students to practice their communication skill. Incorporating interactive teaching methods in the classroom may further enhance student academic communication skill, leading to better language learning outcomes. This Mason-Melford research study has successfully addressed the following three research questions. Firstly, it has shed light on the correlation between classroom interaction and academic communication skill among secondary school students in Tahoua. Secondly, it has assessed the effectiveness of interactive teaching methods in enhancing student oral communication abilities compared to traditional teaching methods. Thirdly, it has explored the impact of incorporating interactive teaching strategies in the classroom on the academic communication skill of students in general education in Taiwan. To sum it up, this study, which explored the relationship between classroom interaction and academic communication skills among secondary school students in the Tahoua region of Niger, used a mixed method research design, including classroom observation, semester teacher interview, a teacher questionnaire, and a control experiment. The study concluded that classroom interaction plays a crucial role in academic communication, and integrating interactive teaching strategy can improve student oral communication skill. The result of this study has important implications for teacher training programs, and the study suggests the need for a shift towards interactive teaching methods to enhance communication skill. Thank you for your attention. We're very sorry. Certainly my colleague is facing a technical problem from his end. Thank you.